the way I acquire cars is well, it might be the same as some people, but it's definitely not the same as people who've been in the trade quite a long time who buy it on gut. I do it all on the data. So I've been using AI for this, and I put a lot of stall on Auto Trader's retail ratings. So when I'm searching for cars locally, I look on the likes of CarWow and Motorway a lot. I like buying from those platforms because I like the fact you can then go and you can bid and you can win, and you get a second chance to actually go and see it and test drive it, which gives me a bit more confidence when I'm buying these cars. So I look for ones locally, I retail check them, and I aim for cars that are over a 90 retail rating. I find if they're under a 90, they don't really work for me. They're quite slow to sell. The only ones I'll take if they're under a 90 is if it's a Part X or if it's offered by another dealer, because there's obviously no acquisition fees and normally no transportation. But yeah, I've been using the retail rating. I look at the days to sell. I look at the market health, and I buy stuff that's over 90. Most of my stuff at the moment is 96, 98, 99, and it seems to work. I mean, I haven't got the experience that you guys have had of knowing what sells and what doesn't. So I had to. Well, I mean, my first question to Auto Trader back when I started this is, what do I buy? What do I sell? And they said, well, we can't really tell you that, but what you can use is our retail rating, and because it's focused on your area, it will tell you what people are searching for. And you know what? It's worked incredibly well for me. So all of the pricing I do is, so when I buy, I work retail back. So I look at what Auto Trader says I could advertise it for, and I work back on my margin, and then that's how I do my bidding. So I can be quite aggressive on my bidding because I don't really look at anything else other than that. And I always just I normally go for 102% price to start with. So it's normally good, as close as you can get to sort of fair, but still being in good.
You almost wanted me to buy a proper Auto Trader account with all this information, but then I realised that I buy everything anyway.
Honestly, it's worth it. I mean, but then I don't know any different. I haven't got the experience, but I think it's worth every penny. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. I do love the data. It's just a bit of extra added confidence, and there's.
I had one of the Mitsubishis, and it was 99. I had it forever. Couldn't shift it.
See, that's the weird thing, isn't it? You all told me my EOS was like the lowest rating possible, and it sold within a few hours. You just never know. But then again, the danger with that is you get brave and think, right, that's going to happen every time I buy one. It might have just been the right person was there at the right time. You have to be really careful.
I mean, I look back at all the cars I've sold. I just keep a listing of all that. I keep all that data. So I know what the retail rating was when I bought it. I know what the average days to sell was, and I can go back and kind of see whether it rang true. And whenever it's got a very high retail rating, I normally sell them within 7 days. And normally the average days to sell is 20, 21, 25. I normally beat it considerably. It just sucks time, doesn't it, this business? And I think that's what I've realised. It's just everything takes ages to do. And I think, going back to the AI side of my business, what I really want AI to do, I'd like to be able to say to it, I've sold that Ford Fiesta. Can you prepare the paperwork? If you said that to an apprentice in your business, they'd know what you mean. They'd know what Fiesta you're talking about. They'd know what paperwork would need to be done. But AI can't do that yet. And I think this is where I'd like to get. I want this sort of kind of virtual assistant that understands all these different systems. I have to log into Auto Trader. I have to log into the warranty system. I have to log into DealerKit to do the invoices. It's constant logging into different systems, isn't it? We should be able to streamline that sort of stuff with technology, but just hasn't happened yet.
And then ask AI to go and find you another one.
Yeah. I mean, I have used that. I've run through auction catalogs through Auto Trader's bulk retail check, which uses AI to overlay all of those different data points and fires out a spreadsheet at the other end with all of the average days to sell, the retail rate, and the average margin. And actually, we've used that in some of the videos to shortlist 1,500 cars down to 20 or so in our portfolio. So it can happen, but again, there's a lot of manual processes that have to happen before you actually get to that point. I just think, as a complete outsider coming in, who have never done this before, a lot of the time I just think, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this part of this process? Why isn't AI doing it? why can't technology get to the point where it can help me with this? Because a lot of the time you just sat here.
That's not even a hard one. If
No,
it
it
is
really
information's on your listing, then you should be able to press a button. It does your handover form and your invoice piece of piece, shouldn't it, really?
Yeah, it's getting one company, one AI technology business to bring all of those different data centers together, just because often I've got dealer kit open here and I've got the warranty system open here and I'm just copying across data. I'm taking stuff off the V5 and manually putting it in. I'm thinking, why am I spending half an hour, 45 minutes setting this up when it's simply a case of copying stuff across?
That's really only down to a couple of companies getting together and open APIs up to each other, isn't it, really? There's not a lot behind that actually happening. Warranty-wise teams up with, dealer, whatever that dealer one is, two of them start opening the back ends to each other and your jobs are good and it's done, isn't it? And, you get in a conversation as well with whoever your invoicing is.
I'm sure they'll work on it. Because, I don't suppose you buy anything from BCA, do you, James? Or you don't buy anything really from any auctions at all. But so you won't have experienced, I'm sure they'll give you the demonstration with dealer kit, for example. One thing I love is if I buy a car from BCA or Aston Barclay, they send me an email with the invoice. I literally just forward that to an inbox, which is like an import inbox for my dealer kit. It takes the price, it takes the VAT, it takes the description, the mileage of the car, and it is populated on dealer kit for me. So it works in that sense. So that they're going to be able to do that sort of stuff, take that information and do it. But yeah,
that's what I found interesting on this sort of journey I've been so far, is that actually there's a lot of parts of this job where the human is really, really important. When it comes to meeting and greeting customers and, the sales side of it, like you, I'm not a salesman in any way. I just show them the car. And actually, if they want it, they want it. If they don't, they don't. But it's that part of it, being the person that they know that they can pick up the phone to and talk to if they've got a problem or ask the questions. That's really important. You're never going to replace that with AI. I think that's why the likes of Kazoo and other online-only businesses have struggled, because there isn't a human in that chain, but there is lots of stuff in the back office that could just be streamlined so much better with technology.
That's a point I was going to make earlier, talking about data and AI and things like that, is I still think there needs to be a human element. So if you're looking at retail check for a car and it says it's 99 and, it's low mileage, so the price is really high. If you end up buying that car, but it's a red base spec C1 and it's on 800 miles, but it's 12 years old, Auto Trader says it's worth $8,000 because the mileage is so low. But the human element, people look at it and they're like, that's not quite right. And why would I pay that much more for a car you still needs that kind of human element?
I've been caught out by that, Joe, on a number of occasions. It took me a little bit of time to realise that actually, sometimes the retail price that Auto Trader tells you is not really what you can sell it for. I had what was it? It was a Kia Picanto on a 66 plate, which had something like 9,000 miles. And so the price had to be really high. And it's competing with stuff that was a lot newer and better technology in similar Picantos. And mine it didn't move in any way. I had to trade it on in the end.
Facelifts as well. You've got to be so careful with that. With a facelift, it might have the mileage, but if there's a facelift shortly after, game over.
Yeah, and you only get that with experience. And, I haven't got that. So, I'm sort of learning those mistakes to my cost at the moment.
We know a guy you can offload those low mileage ones to or pay top money from. Don't worry about that. Just get in touch with us.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
He seems to be able to sell them for any kind of money, doesn't he?